You are live. Hey everyone, Dan here with Chief Experts on live on the Designer Show. Online here with John and Renee and Robin. Welcome you guys. How are you guys doing today?
Fabulous.
Doing good. Doing good.
Awesome. John, it looks like you've got some of Renee's sunshine on your face there.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the front seat of my van, and it's kind of hard to figure out how to get the light to work.
I know it's bright. It's lightening you up really well. So
Yeah,
anyway.
I had a light on before, and it went out on me. So
don't worry, you
anyway.
look fine. You look good.
All right.
So anyway,
right.
How's everybody else today? Feel free to chime in with any comments. Let us know where you're hailing from. It'd be fun to hear from you. So, all right. Some of you might have just gotten an email a few minutes ago that, hey, we're starting soon. Usually I try to send that out about an hour and a half before the show. For some reason, technology, which has not been my friend the last few days, decided to do it today too. And that email just sat there and spun for about an hour. So it finally did go out. So if you made it today, welcome. If not, you might be watching this on a replay. So welcome to that too. Anyway, so today we're pardon?
Kenny Crocker just signed in. So we got.
Hey, Kenny from Kingsland, Georgia. How are you? Welcome to the show. Kingsland, Georgia. Yeah, I visited that a long time ago. It's a nice place. You guys got a little busy little place there along the freeway. All right, today we're going to spin the wheel again a little bit, and we'll kind of move forward from there. If you guys have questions, feel free to type them in, and we'll go from there. So, you guys have anything you want to add here this morning before we get going?
No, I loved the whole thing last week on preferences. I think we can't spend enough time on preferences. So that was really helpful. It was great.
True. There's a lot there. Yeah, I was thinking about how I could put together some sheets on that to make it a little bit easier to explain. And I'll be working on that for our event coming up here in February. So
Renee and I were talking before the show, and he said that he came back from court.
John,
even faster than with Chief.
John, you just froze up there a minute. Say that again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Renee and I were talking before the show, and he said he came back from Coeur d'Alene faster than he was before.
No, good grief! Now he's moving at lightning speed.
Right. He said he came back to a plan he had to work on. He thought it would take him 2 days. It took him 3 hours.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be like $700 or $800 an hour, Renee. You're never gonna make any money.
I know.
Just do more jobs, I guess.
You'll be finishing your plans in a couple of clicks. I mean, geez, it's just not fair. Anyway, but no, that's cool. Yeah, it was fun to be with you and watch you perform some of your amazing things that you do. I'm bummed that I didn't get to be a symbol while we were there, so we'll have to talk about that.
I tell my friends are sick of me. They don't want to talk tech with me. They don't know what we're talking about. So it's really nice to meet you guys and be able to talk shop. You know,
And we do tend to talk a little shop, don't we? So little Chief Architects shop. It's fun. It really is amazing how this program is just fun to work with. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Real quickly on the Designer Show page, let me share my screen. You'll see, if you scroll down a little bit, you will notice that there's a little deal there about our Total Immersion Summit coming up in February. Feel free to join the wait list, and we'll let you know as soon as that's ready. I should have all the information done on that here very shortly, so I'll let you know about that, and we'll kind of move forward from there. Looking forward to that, and God dang, time is moving way faster than I was hoping. Can't believe it's the middle of September already, but it'll be good. All right. And with that, I don't really have anything else to say today other than, here's what the waitlist thing looks like. Just enter your name and email, and we'll keep you informed about what's going on with this. All right. I got nothing else.
Okay.
It's a simple day. Let's jump. Shall we jump into the wheel? Should we jump into the wheel? The wheel. All right, let's do that. Let me get to the right screen. Here we go. Let's go full screen here. And I've added a few new things to this wheel, although I think I've covered some of these things already, but I don't know. So we'll just run with this. And if I've covered already, you're going to get a double take on it. So let's just spin the wheel and we'll see what comes up. And if you guys here have questions, comments, things you want us to cover, by all means, feel free to add them to the comments and we'll try to cover them best we can. All right. We all know what this one is. It's the never draw an arc by hand icon. Okay.
That's what it's called?
No, that's what I call it. You know, Chief has in its toolbar these tools that you can use to draw arcs. Where'd they go? You can draw curved walls. You can draw arcs right here. It's like we don't need those tools at all because we're going to use the tool that Chief gives us to draw arcs called the change line to arc or change arc back to line. That's this icon right down here. When you click on an edge, you click on a line, you click on a wall. What else does that work on? Does that work on anything else? It doesn't work on roofs or anything like that. But basically you draw a line, click on that tool and it makes it into an arc. And then you can take that arc and you can bend it by grabbing the triangle. You can move it back and forth. Let's look at a practical use of that in a plan. So you might be drawing a room and you might decide, you know what, I need this to be a curved wall. All right. So I always do it like this. So I always draw out the shape of the room. I'm getting what's called the chord. That'd be the chord length, would be the correct length by just drawing it like a box. And since walls are like lines, they originate from a line and the line is right there in the wall being highlighted. When you click on the wall and you click that convert wall to an arc, you can then do that. And then you can start making that arc any size you want. And if you have done that and you said, well, you know, I don't really want that to be an arc. Now you can make the arc back into a line by clicking on the same tool. Right. So that's another great tool. Another good use for that is when you're doing countertops. You're working on a kitchen, you're drawing custom countertops. Let's just draw a little L-shaped countertop here. Put a break in here. Okay. So at any time, you can convert any of these lines. Again, any polyline in Chief can be converted to an arc at any time. So I could click on that tool. There's my arc. And then I can make that arc any size I want. In fact, I could make it into a little table at the end if I wanted to. Really handy tool. And again,
good to note that your secondary handle, Phil, is letting you know which edge you're selecting to make an arc.
Exactly. So you're talking like this one right here. Mm-hmm. That handle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So these little bitty handles are not selected edges. That's the selected edge. We covered that last time in preferences on how to change the colors of those buttons, or those handles, they call them. So that works. You can also do another way to do you can do arcs within a line too, just by breaking it. So if I've made countertop before where I want to put an arc at a specific spot. So I'll dimension that spot. Oops, got the wrong tool here. So we'll go ahead and dimension that. All right, come on, I can do this. And let's say I want to have a 5-foot or a 4-foot arc right there. Of course, I would dimension that from the end too. So what I would do is click on that. We're going to add the break using the break tool. Remember, we covered that. That's the number 3 key. We're going to add a break here. And 3 key to break. 3 key to break. And if I get my cursor in the right spot, it'll break it exactly at the right spot. Here I missed it. I'm just going to pull that down there. Now I could convert that line in right there into an arc as well. So you don't have to do the whole line. You can do part of a line. And there you go. Works really well. It's a great
tool. Talk a little bit about walls. When you're trying to bring an arc into a wall, if you don't get that radius exactly right and you don't get that wall coming into tangent, when it's coming all the way around, like for a stairway or something, mm-hmm. The walls don't join properly.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you know exactly, if you figure out exactly what the radius is supposed to be, you can open up the dialog box for this, lock the chord, and put in the right radius. and that will make your walls go together a lot nicer.
It does, yeah. So what John's talking about is once you start drawing a wall, again, the thing that's the most important to understand is what the chord is. This is the chord length right here. Okay. When we're doing arcs, we want to lock that so that it doesn't move where the ends are. So when we click on an arc, whether it's a wall or a line, and open its dialog box, you will have that. What are you going to lock here? Where did I put it here? Lock. Hello. Okay,
You're in the wall. You're not. Yeah.
On a wall, it's locked by default. The chord is.
Okay. Yep.
On a line,
You have a lot more options.
Yeah, if I have a line and I open its dialog, then we can specify what do we want to lock on that arc. The start of the arc, the end of the arc, the center of it, the arc itself, or the chord. And again, when you're trying to change the arc radius, you always lock the chord. That'll keep the two ends locked in place. And then you're just changing the radius by changing the number.
Real quick, if you select that wall.
This wall?
Yeah, we've got a handle fill there. That's that dot handle fill. That'll change your chord length too.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So you can, that's something new. Well, where did we use that once, John? We were doing something one day and you showed me that and I'm going, oh, cool. That's how that works.
Maybe an arch over a window or something. I don't remember.
I remember now. I was making a copy of an arc. So when we have a line and we want to copy that at a specific distance, say we're trying to create a fill of some, a true blue, whatever. And then what you do is you hit the copy button and you pull in by that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pulls, see how it pulls it in nice and even.
Right.
And
for making an arc. I use it for doing beams and stuff like that on a gable end sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. So now we can join those together. That looked like it moved a little bit, didn't it? That one didn't. So, but that works really well. So now we've got a nice evenly spaced arc.
Yep. And you can, I think, start pulling it once and see if you can hit the tab button and tell it how far you want it to move.
I would think we could. Let's see. Copy. Pulling it and hit tab.
Yep.
We can say move that in 4 inches, and we should have 4 inches. 4 1/16. Don't ask me why it's not giving an even 4, but it seemed to work just fine.
Yeah.
All right, that's a nice tool. I like that one. Any questions on that one?
Nope.
Everybody's happy with that. Cool. Let's move on to the wheel. Oh yeah, speaking of arcs, that's the what's that one called? Let's go back to Chief. I don't remember. It's so weird.
If I had Chief open, I could look at it and know exactly what it is. There it is.
Make arc tangent. And you just said that word a minute ago, John.
I just said that. You know what? And I never used that tool. So let's look at that one.
Well, okay. Here's what you only see that tool when you make an arc. All right. When you click on the arc and you click that tool, you can say, I want to make the radius of this wall what? Now, this is different than it is for CAD lines. So, and then how do you want to make that radius to what? Well, of course, outer surface, we'd probably use the outer main layer because that's the layer we have selected. And you can change the radius here to whatever you want. Oops, 0. Oh, I didn't know that. If I make it 0, it makes a tangent. I didn't know that. I was typing 100 actually. I still made it tangent. Didn't matter what I typed.
You were in the tangent tool, so anything you put in there is probably going to make it tangent.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, why in the hell? All right. So why did they give me the option to put something in there?
Is there a way to change its angle or anything? Change the chord angle? What else you got there? Outer surface?
No, it's just which layer of the wall are you selecting is all we have.
Unconnect it from the other wall.
All right, let's try that.
Like take one wall out. You need to have one straight wall, but just have one wall coming off of it.
All right.
Now try it.
No, I don't get the number. No, I don't get it.
Really?
No.
Is it still connected? You moved that out of there, so is it still connected to that, or did you make a copy of it?
No, I
Those
just
walls
hit
still
undo. I hit undo. That's a
That's
room
weird.
definition.
Change the angle of it once, because it's tangent now. It's
So
tangent now. Change the radius of the arc with your arrow key there.
This one.
Yeah. Now disconnect one wall.
No, nothing.
Still don't get it back.
So for walls, it has to be connected. But for things like this now, when we hit to make tangents, or like a countertop, for example, you want to make that a rounded end. So you hit that tool, you click on it and hit this to make tangent. And now we would just say, it says the radius that it is right now, but all we do is hit OK, and it's going to make it a half round. Okay.
Do you have to have that selected to two lines, just like we did before?
I don't think
Or can you?
I don't think you do with that tool. Let's see here. Yes, you do.
Hey, can you guys let me share my screen for a second?
Absolutely.
Or pin my
Yeah,
screen?
you can do it. Just go ahead and show your screen.
I haven't figured out this interface yet.
Yeah, you got the share button down there in the bottom.
Oh boy,
Just
here we
pick
go.
what you
Put me
wanna
on the
share.
spot. Okay, I see it. Share slides.
And then you
share
hit
screen. There we go.
And then
Yes.
I think I have to hit add
Okay.
to stream. Yeah, you
So-
can hit add to stream.
Yeah, if I extend a wall out and then I like using the alt behavior, so I left click to make my radius.
Okay.
So we've got this now, and now we have should have that same option to make this tangent. Look, mine's not showing it either now. What's going on here?
It looks like it's hooked up.
Yeah, funny. It's not showing now. Let's go back.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's still not showing.
So how about if you drew a wall?
There it
and
is. Okay, so now when I click it and just press OK, there we go.
Oh,
Okay.
How did that work?
So try doing a 45-degree angle. Try drawing 3 walls, one at a 45-degree angle like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course that'll work fine that way. But the way Renee just did it, why did it do like that? That's interesting. I've never seen it done that way before. But cool. And then you and you could click on it now and just change the radius.
Yeah, and it's gonna auto cut this wall over here.
It's moving back and forth. So it does have a lot more function. I wasn't even aware of that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
There we go. Yeah.
So you are making it a bigger radius in this situation because now the chord length can grow and shrink. Okay,
Exactly.
the chord between the two angles. I like that.
So now if you're buying a spiral stairway or curved stairway that's already manufactured, you're just going to put it in place. If you know the radius of it,
punch in your number.
you just put in your number and you got your wall in the right place.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it.
Man, that took a day's worth of workout right there.
A day, huh?
now you have to raise your rates by another $100.
Sometimes
Now you're up to
it's a whole day.
Now you're up to $900 an hour. Jeez. One more thing about radius walls when you're drawing stairs. Draw your radius wall first and then draw your stairs. The stairs will follow the radius of the wall that you draw when you put it next to the wall.
That's a great tip. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to know that I don't think you can create a spiral staircase doing that. You can get pretty far on that rounded thing, but anyway, if you are doing a curvy stairway, that works pretty well. Cool. Okay. Moving on. Any questions?
We have a question.
Oh, Is there a way to dimension to a reference drawing without using a point marker? I'm trying something new, doing my as-builts in one drawing and referencing in a renovation set, which is why I would like to pull dimensions from a reference drawing. I don't know that you could do that.
Can't you
I
just
thought you
copy
can do that.
You
Can't
should
you
be able
just
to
copy the dimensions and bring them over?
you should be able to snap to a point.
You should be able to
But
snap to a point. Yeah.
it's not, I don't think it's going to snap to something. You would have to create that point. So
You
if
could-
I went in and just referenced another plan, I'll just go reference something. So I'm going to click on my floor number and I'm going to go reference, see which one do I want to change here? I want to change, which one do I want to change? I want to go to choose an existing plan. Let's go find something somewhere on my computer.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't let you.
No, I didn't think it would. It's
Can
going to be
you
like
copy?
it's going to be no different than referencing one floor to another. You're not going to be able to snap a dimension to something that's not really there. So here's another plan I'm referencing. So I can snap to those. You see how I can snap to those spots? The snap tools will work to it. We'll go to it, but I'm not going to be able to draw a dimension from that to that. Or
You could draw a line there.
Yeah, I could draw a line, put a number, turn a number.
I could
on.
make that suggestion, whoever that user was, to Chief Talk.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So can you copy construction lines from one plan to the next?
Yeah.
Copy what?
Construction line.
That's a great suggestion. Just dimension to your construction lines instead.
Yeah, but here I use
Okay.
here if you use the point-to-point dimensioning tool, it will snap to the right spot. You'll get that point there, and it's always going to stay there. You can make it really small, and then you can dimension that way. I don't know any other way that you're going to do it.
I might have just figured this answer out, Renee, but I just started using construction lines and I couldn't get it to dimension to it. I can't pull dimensions from construction lines.
You should be able to.
What's a
I
construction?
can snap to them with other things, but I can't go up to your line tool and then construction lines
that
right
one,
there.
yeah,
That
right.
one there. I couldn't dimension to those. I had to put a line on it in order to dimension to
Well,
it.
what kind of line is it? It's called a
No,
construction
that's
line
not right.
layer.
And it gives you temporary dimensions.
But do you have? Yeah, I can. Do it.
Yeah, you got to
just
turn it
click
on
on
in CAD objects.
Yeah,
There's subcategory construction lines.
So you're going to have to go to your dimension defaults and locate under CAD.
Oh, sure.
There you go, right
Clip
there.
lines.
The last one, last item there.
Oh, construction lines. Oh, I did
okay.
it, and I didn't have that turned on.
Yeah. Well,
Because I was doing it end to end. Did I have it turned on there? No, I didn't. I did it, and it
Okay.
mentioned fine.
well, that's good to know. It's good to
So-
know.
Anyway, so you have the option.
Yep. And that's what I figured out just before I asked the question.
Okay.
That's probably what it was. But
All right.
anyway.
Cool. All right, next. That was a good.
All right, we made it
segue.
through 2 in like half an hour.
Yeah, we're really cruising here, aren't we? We should slow down a little bit. The magic.
Hey, I know what this one is.
The magic one.
Make Spline.
It's a
Yeah,
make
I use-
spline tool.
Yeah, that's a pretty simple one. So where do you guys use that?
I don't use it anymore. I used to. Now I just use when I'm doing arrows, I like curved arrows. So I draw a straight arrow, then I alt click to make it an arced arrow, and then I continuation diamond, and then alt click again. But I used to draw spline arrows.
Okay. Oh, speaking of curved lines and arrows, just for FYI, for those of you, now we're stepping back and going to spend more time on that first one. When you draw a line with an arrow on it, all you have to do is right mouse on that, and you can bend that line into an arrow.
It's my favorite function.
Yeah. And then you can break that line as well, and then go the other way if you want to. So you could do arrows like that really easy. So just hit your 3 key. You can add those breaks all day long and make your arrows go pretty much anywhere you want.
And if you've already, go ahead and draw 2 lines, Dan. Just 2 straight lines.
2
Or
straight,
3 straight
Fillet
lines,
it.
whatever.
Yeah, I use the F key.
3 straight lines.
No, it's together. They have to be connected.
Oh,
like you're drawing a arrow
you
for
go.
a label, like that. Now hit
Right.
your spline tool, and it turns it into a curve. So if you've done it like that and you want it the other way, you don't have to go redraw it. You just click on
Right.
it and hit the spline tool.
so
This
I
is
do-
an old suggestion of mine. It takes the arrow away, though.
Oh, it does. Yeah, so you'd have to open it and put the arrow back on.
Yeah. In fact, I wrote a macro to automatically put the arrow on for me. I was
Okay.
doing
Oh.
it so much.
Okay. Yeah, I don't ever use that kind of a line. I always
Yeah,
use
I don't
curved
either.
lines for that. Now, one area I do use that convert line to spline tool is if I'm tracing over a plot plan. I don't have anything prepared for that. So just pretend I have a plot plan open and it's showing the contours. So, you know how a contour can be, curvy, like that kind of a deal. You can draw those with splines. I found it a little easier to just draw them with lines, just kind of hit where you think the points are of that contour with that, and just using your right mouse button to draw that line so it stays connected, and then convert that to a spline, and then do your final adjustments that way. I found that to be a little quicker for me on certain plans.
Yeah, I used to do that, but now I just leave it as a straight line and make them elevation lines, and it makes the curves in there for me. So I just leave my data lines straight so I can tell which ones they are.
Yeah.
And let Chief build it.
Where the hell's the spline tool? Where'd the spline tool go?
Chris Egner was asking, what do you use construction lines for?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Okay.
Go ahead, talk about it.
It's part of your line tools at the bottom when you open a segmented line, isn't it?
No, you can draw splines.
Oh, I don't know where it went.
Am I missing something? Huh. Okay,
So
go
what do
ahead and
you use
talk about construction lines.
What do you use
Here,
construction
I can
lines
show
for?
I can show my screen as a reference.
Go for it.
Okay, that'd be great.
See if I can figure this out again. Okay, so construction lines. I've got a conversation I have to have with my engineer and a conversation I have to have with my client. I'm going to tell my engineer.
You actually
that
talk to
bearing-
your people? Come on now. That's no fun.
What's that?
Nothing. I'm just being stupid.
I say, look at that bearing line to the engineer. Well, it's very clear. They can look at that on the set of drawings. Bearing
Right.
lines drawn right there. A client asked me, can we change that cabinet out? Okay, which one? Well, the cabinet in between line 4 and 5 and lines E and F. It's just a great communication tool between you, your engineer, your construction crew, and your client.
So you just have them as kind of dotted lines that's kind of creating a grid on your screen.
Yeah, it's a light grid. It's not too overwhelming.
Yep.
It's my personal, taste on it. Also, if you take this, when I'm presenting with a client, something that's helpful is I might take my construction lines, open them up, and say, draw infinity line in plan view. That way, as I zoom in, you're going to see that those lines remain in the shot so that it's really easy to talk about, between this point and that point. The other great thing about these is they show up in elevation as well. So if I've got an elevation and I'm trying to reference something, if I've got those construction lines turned on in that elevation, as you can see here, it's really easy to see where things are lining up.
That's where I forgot where they corresponded with each other. That's what it does. Yep, got it.
And then you can, I'm just working on a building right now for a client. It's a 4-story building. So there's bearing points that have to line up as it goes through the building. So instead of turning on reference layers to make sure things are lined up, I just use the construction lines and things like, you can line stuff up off of those. So from floor to floor, because they show up on every floor.
Right. You go up a floor, down a floor, as long as you have them set in the settings to show on every floor.
Yep.
It's really easy to figure this all out. Cool. And ever since I started marking my bearing lines, my engineers just love that.
Yeah. I like that. That's a really great idea. So,
Hey,
and
tell Mike not to drive, not to watch the show.
Keep your eye on the road, Mike.
Just drive, Mike.
Yes.
I've done that before too, Mike, and it works. So just listen, but don't look.
Yeah. See, you'll get the double whammy. You'll go back and say, I know we talked about that. So the other thing, let's go back to arcs for a second. I'm not seeing the icon, but it's under the CAD tool, the spline tool.
You want to share your screen again, or I
Oh,
can do it.
that's
I got it.
Yeah, you
I
can do
got
that now, John. No, now I could just go whenever I want and you can fix it. Attaboy.
Yep.
So the spline tool. So again, use your right mouse button to draw the spline and you can get those much more accurate. So all I'm doing is draw, click, draw, click, draw, click. And then you can go back and adjust those. So that's, I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Anyway, let's go spin the wheel. Good, nice take on those construction lines. I like those.
Yeah.
The join line tool. No, I think we talked about that before. I'm going to do it again. So that particular tool is it's next to the polyline box to the right of the regular.
It's right there. Right there.
Oh, for Jesus. I thought it was part of a drop down, but thank you. Okay. If you stare at the screen long enough, you won't see it. So that's, so there you go.
Way to go, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. It's a nice thing we have these wonderful people looking out for us.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris is like, do I really have to type this out?
Okay. What did I just spin? The join line tool. Okay, so whenever you have two CAD lines, I always explain it this way. So let's say I'll explain it both ways. So you have a CAD box, you have a roof, a countertop, an edge, something that is just all broken up and it's got breaks in it and it's kind of a mess. And you just want to get it back to a square. And this happens with roofs a lot. So here's the way that join line tool works. So that's this tool right here. All right, the join line tool. It's very similar to the, to the fillet and the chamfer tool. We're just joining two lines together. So if I put a line here and I put a line here, okay, so just visualize that this line is this line is this line. All I'm going to do is join these lines together. Okay, so I'm going to click near the edge of this one. I'm going to click the join line tool and I'm going to click on the edge of this one and you see how it hooks them together. Well, if I do the same to this shape, this line here joins this line here. Bam. You have to say okay to this. I'm going to turn that off. Cleans up all those breaks in that edge. Now you're back to a single box. That's the join line tool.
I have never used that tool and I'm about to start.
I taught Renee something new today.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good one.
Yeah, it really will save you a ton of time. When you're trying to, I want to clean this up right here. Let's see if I can join that to an arc. See how that works. Boom, works perfect. So it is a really nice tool. In fact, that's one of those. I think I have a hotkey somewhere. I didn't set it up on this, but I have it on my list to do. Here I want to clean up that arc. Join those two lines together. Done. So nice tool. Save you a ton of time, especially when you're working on roofs. And it works in 3D as well. So when you have an edge that's all broken up, like an edge of a roof, I really got a mess on this one. So let's say that you've got this and it's got a bunch of breaks in it and you need to clean up that edge. Same thing up here. So you got to click back far enough to where that line would be. I can't click out here. I have to click back here where they would join, hit the join line tool, and then I can join it right there and clean that up. So there you go. That's the join line tool. Hide
That's
that
a good one.
choice. Spin the wheel.
I just saved $1,000 on that tip.
You
I owe you
saved
lunch.
$1,000? Now your rate's going up to $9.25. All right, cool. Screen capture. Anybody using the screen capture tool in Chief Architect? Anybody?
Starting to. Not as
Yeah.
often as it probably should.
You starting
No,
to?
because
All right.
I'm on Windows and we have cooler stuff.
Well,
Kind of.
maybe.
There's some added function there, right?
Let me show you. Or should I just hide that choice and keep it a secret? I'll go show you. I use it so much I even put an icon on the screen.
Really?
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, get in here, Dan. Where's my cursor's being goofy. There it is. All right, here we go. So I put a little icon up here. That's what it looks like. That's your screen capture icon. So if you go to your customized toolbars, you can put that in there. So one when I click that tool, it's going to open up this dialog box, screen capture setup. This tool is also located under tools, screen capture. Okay. And here's the icon. Don't get this one. Don't get this one. Get this icon here. That's the one you want. You want the 3 dots under it, because you want to be able to choose what it is you're going to capture when you do it. So from this icon, I can capture a picture from anywhere on my screen, on any screen. I can capture a backdrop, a material, or an image. So if I have a picture of some tile I want to capture and put on something, all I can do is click this, capture it, done. I can paste it right on what I'm working on. I want to capture an image and make a 3D image of a tree or something like that. That one you have to do a massaging to. You could try it and see if it works. But if I'm doing if you're doing like a billboard or a sign on a building, that image capture works great too. So let's go into picture for a second, and let's just capture a picture. And let me show you one way that I use that. And we'll let you choose if you like it or not. So I'm going to go to Google. I'll go to Google Maps.com. And let's go into a render view or a 3D view like this. And I want to capture a lot. I'm going to capture this house as part of my plan. All right. Now, if I'm in sometimes you can be on the tax, the property tax website, and you'll see property lines, that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to capture this because maybe I want to see the neighborhood, but I want to scale it. I want to make it to scale. So first thing I'll do is kind of rotate the screen so it's pretty square to where I'm going to scale it, because scaling has to be back and forth and up and down. Okay, it can't be at an angle in Chief to use their scale tool. At least I don't think it can. I haven't tried that for a while. No, you can't. It's locked up and down, back and forth. So then I'm going to go to I'm going to right click on this map, and I'll hit measure distance, and I'm going to draw a distance line down here. Okay. And we'll just from 0 to 800 feet. All right. Now I'm going to go back to Chief, and I'm going to capture that screen. You could do this with any photo capture thing, but I'm going to hide Chief while I'm capturing. If you're capturing something in Chief, uncheck that. So I'm going to hit capture. I'm going to grab the screen I want. Just draw a box around it. There's my deal. Right in Chief. Done. I don't have to open the dialog and hit save and plan. Then all I have to do is scale that, is just click here and click over here. Type in 800 feet, and I've got it scaled to where I can trace over it, compare it to what I'm working on. Done. So that's one use of that capture tool right there. I didn't have to go out of Chief to go get a different program. I use Snagit for a ton of my captures, but when I'm in Chief, this works really well. So let's say you want to save, you want to capture something else. So let's go into, let's try this here in 3D, see if this works in here. So there's my capture. I'm going to capture a material. I'm going to go get I want to create a material for my plan. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hide Chief while I do this. And okay, now it didn't hide Chief for some reason. Did I hit hide Chief? I didn't hit capture.
You didn't click on it though.
I did hit capture.
No, but Dan, the box isn't checked.
No. Oh, I want it checked, don't I?
Yeah.
Do it's Monday.
And hit
right?
capture.
Okay, let me try that again. So I want to capture something here. What do I want to capture? Let me find what I want to capture.
You need to get a material.
Yeah. What am I doing? I'm going to get to, and you can capture, come on, keep getting the wrong screen here. You can capture any screen. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to go in here, try it again. Let's go back to Chief, hit capture. I'm going to create a material. I'm going to hide Chief, but I'm just going to go over my other screen and get it anyway. Then I'll get a picture of me. Here's what I've just captured. I was going to do Robin, but I decided to be. So I've just created
this.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
glad you got me, Dan. That's much better.
So I've just created a new material. Here's Dan. Now I could take that material and put it on anything that I want to. I want to spray it on the walls. There I am, just like that. So put myself on the floor. There I am. And then you can, right now, that's interesting. Here, I'll put myself on the roof.
That was good. I like that.
You like that? Isn't that fun? So you can have fun with, there I am.
Oh, that's funny.
So you can also go in there and edit that material then. So from the dialog here, I could go edit this material, open the object. And in this dialog, I could say, because right now it's stretched to fit. Maybe I want it. Maybe this is a tile pattern I want to repeat. So I could change the scale factor here. I could tell it not stretch to fit, so that when I put it on something, now you're gonna, now you're gonna start seeing lots of you.
And it automatically goes into your user catalog.
Pardon?
It
Yeah,
automatically
automatically gets put in your user catalog. You don't have to go save a picture, import it, la-di-da-di-da. It's just done. That's what's so nice about that. So,
Can I share one thing? I was talking to you guys
You bet.
in Coeur d'Alene, and I was telling you about clipboard history.
Yep.
In a Windows machine, if you hit your Windows key and clip on, oh, there you go. If you type in clipboard history, clipboard settings, you've got the option to turn on clipboard history. Now Mac has this too, but it's a separate program you have to install. So for your Mac users, this exists as well. But the nice thing about clipboard history is built into Windows, the Windows key, Shift key, and S will get you a screen clipping. Well, I can screen clip a couple different items. And I can also come in here, select a wall, select a dimension, copy it. And if I want to paste any one of those items, I'm going to hit my Windows key and V if I have clipboard history. In the bottom corner here, I could paste this dimension string, which I just did right there. Or I can paste one of these clipboard items and convert it to material, backdrop, or image.
I just turned that on.
Oh my God.
That.
So
if you've got a bunch of dimension strings you need to copy, or a bunch of images you need to copy and paste, make sure to turn on your clipboard history, get used to that tool. That's a huge time saver.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool. I just did that. I'm going to play with that. I like that. That's a good one. Because, yeah, there are times it's like, oh, gosh, I wish I could paste that thing I pasted three numbers ago or 4 numbers ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So here's where that shines compared to the screen capture from Chief, too. You can't do the screen capture when you have a dialog box open.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
In Chief? Correct.
In Chief.
Yeah, you would have to click on, yeah, if this is running and you had a dialog box open, no, you wouldn't be able to.
Right. So you can use that clipboard thing for that. Like if you have roofs that you're trying to get all the information that you want, do the clipboard thing, and then you have it.
That's a great use of it. So it's Shift Windows key S, and then screen clip that whole setting, and you can go paste it in your roof plan to reference it. It's great.
Right. Yep.
So, and then Windows V to open that list. By golly, there it is. Very cool. Shift, Windows key.
Can you repeat that again?
So it's here. We can show mine real quick.
Yeah.
So it's Shift Windows key S.
S.
And that's going to bring up. It's going to kind of black out the screen, and there's a little set of icons that you guys can't see at the top. And then I draw a marquee, and now it's copied it to my clipboard there.
Cool.
And so now all I have to do, and mind you, you have to have clipboard history turned on in Windows settings, but now all I do is Windows key V, and I get my tray of different items here. So like John was just saying, if I get over to, say, a roof plan, and I want to copy all this information here, Shift Windows key S, highlight this section, and then it's easy for me to come into some other view and paste this and use it as a reference.
I do that all the time with my
with Snagit.
With Snagit, and I do it all the time with Chief too. Capture picture.
Or Snippet. Yeah. And then if you have a programmable mouse or something like that, and you can dedicate a key to it, you can put that in as macro.
Yeah.
So it's just a one keystroke thing, and you're done.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I like it. All sorts of goodies. Okay, let's go.
Here we got a
Yeah.
question. We got
Yeah,
a
go
question.
ahead.
Going back to join two lines tool, can you join two walls in plan?
Yes, but not with that tool.
Right.
Yeah, you want to use a different tool, which is the join wall tool. So when you have two walls, click on the end of the walls, and I don't know why they don't combine them, but you got this tool right here. This will join the two.
Oh, we're not
ends.
showing Dan's.
Come on, John.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
sleeping. I'm sleeping.
You have to turn that message off now. There we go. Isn't it great having control? So you want to join these two ends of the walls together, and this is good for when you have walls coming in at goofy angles and stuff like that. It'll be this tool down here. It's this.
I've only used that when I have something showing up that the wall's not connected. Will it delete walls out of the middle of it too if you do that?
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
No, it's only gonna it's just like join lines. But I don't think it's gonna clean up any stuff in between.
That's probably why they have it in two different places.
Yeah. So Valerie found the connect walls too. Cool. All right, back to our wheel and spin her up here. It's always kind of fun to see what comes up. No, I just did that one. I didn't hide choice. Best I didn't hide that choice. All right, do it again. Unless you want to hear all about it again, I'm probably not.
No.
All right, center tool. Didn't we cover that one a while ago? Seems to me we did.
Yeah, we did. We covered center and center between 2 points.
Yeah, we did. So go back to the first.
I'd show that again because I think there are some people here who weren't here previously.
Okay.
Show that, because that is such a great tool.
It is a really handy tool. So anytime you have something you want to center something on, so I want to put a door in here and I want to center it on one side of the wall or the other. So if I hit this, you click on the item you want to center, and then you'll always see this little tool right here. And you'll see the hotkey for it is Control G. I don't know what G would stand for, but Control, good tool. So it's that tool, and then you just put your cursor near what you want to center it on. So click here, and I can hear I'm centering it on that side of the wall, and here I'm centering on that side of the wall. And that works for anything. So if you put a cabinet under a window, you can center that cabinet by clicking on the cabinet. I guess get the front of it pointing out, and hit the centering tool. Click on the window. Now I've centered it under that. Vice versa, I could center the window on the cabinet and all that kind of good stuff. If you want to center something and you don't have something to center it on, then we would use the centering tool. And we have another tool that will appear over here called point-to-point center. Okay, so what you're going to end up doing is clicking, you have the item highlighted you want to center. Then you click on 2 points, and then I believe you click on the item again, and Chief will center between those 2 points that you've clicked on. So if we click here, so if I click on this point, and then I click over here on this point, Chief will center that between those 2 points.
Well, but it gives you 2 X's. So notice how you have 2 options to manipulate.
Yeah.
Could have moved it.
So one is in plane with where the object is at the current time, and then one is in plane with where you drew your centering.
Right, exactly. So see here, I could keep it lined up with where it was and still center it up there because it's snapping to that line that's in plane with where it was. So
that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Back to construction lines. You can center things on construction lines too. So if you're drawing walls and you want to move them into place, you just center them on that.
Yeah, true.
The other thing I've done recently is I've programmed one of my programmable devices to be copy center as a macro. So I just hit one button, it copies it, and then I can go put it in the wall and it centers it right away.
Yeah. Chris says, Wheel says attic walls. Do you want me to talk about attic walls, Chris? If you do, just say yes, and I'll talk about attic walls. We won't spin the wheel. But I'll go ahead and spin the wheel until you do that. Maybe it'll land on attic walls. We'll see. No, it didn't. Additional angles. I think we talked about that too.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
That. Yep.
Yeah, let's just hide that one. I'm going to move on from that one. I thought I had cleaned this up, but I guess not. Okay, Chris wants attic walls. Auto roof return. We'll do the attic wall thing first, and we're running out of time here anyway. What are attic walls? What are attic walls? Okay.
What does Chris want to know about attic walls?
Well, I'll just explain in general what
I know
attic
you can
walls
start
are,
there,
but Chris,
just
go
in case
ahead.
he has a real question,
If you have a
actual
specific
question.
If you have a specific question, let us know. An attic wall is a wall that is created by Chief automatically. All right, so let me just open a new plan real quick, and delete this. And so when you draw something and you put a roof over it, okay, so I'm going to just click on these two walls and make them a gable, and then I'm going to build a roof. All right, and so what Chief just did when I built this roof is it filled in this space here. All right, I didn't draw that wall in, Chief did. Chief, an attic wall, when Chief creates them, and you'll also notice if I go back to the floor plan that there's two floors in this plan. It's got a first floor and an attic. So you'll always have one more floor, no matter however many floors you have in your plan, you'll always have an attic, because that's where Chief's going to store the walls that it creates automatically. All right, never draw rooms in an attic. Chief, it's only there to hold the attic walls that Chief creates. An attic wall is a copy. Chief automatically makes a copy of the wall below and puts it in up here to fill in the spot between the top of where this wall would have ended in the bottom side of the roof. That's an attic wall. Done.
Can you? So he does have he does have a specific question.
So you want to know an attic wall that sits on top of a roof going up to a higher roof? Yes.
That's a strange condition.
No, it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
In fact, if we put in
it wouldn't sit on top of it usually, right? It would be
So, well,
No.
let's see. If I go, what am I looking to do here?
Like I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right or not, but like a clear story wall with windows in it,
right?
Wouldn't necessarily sit on another wall.
So let me just do something real quick here. Let's just draw a dormer in here. I'll do this as quickly as I can. So I'm going to move these dotted lines up to the attic, and I'm going to draw 3 walls up here that I want to sit on top of the roof. Now, if you just do an auto dormer, Chief will do this just fine. But I'll show you doing it manually what it would look like. So if I go in here and I'm drawing 3 walls, what are you doing? Yeah, I know I'm drawing in the attic. Okay, I'm doing it because I want to. So when I go look at the 3D view for this, there shouldn't have been anything there. Because I drew them in the attic, they are there.
Need a second story.
Yeah.
Well, you could draw a roof and it'll give you the option to draw over wall top.
Yeah, I can do it without adding an attic.
Okay.
Although Chief should still cut those walls off below.
You have to open them up and say roof cuts wall at bottom.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be sitting on top of the roof. This is what's puzzling. Here, let's go do it the other way. Let's go put them
Because
back.
the bottom of your wall was above your roof plane on the edges.
Yeah, but it still should cut them off. A roof will always cut walls off when the roof's here. Let's go ahead a second floor, just like you said, John. It should have been. This is a good one to be prepared for. So if I were to add a second floor, build a new floor, I'll just make it blank because I already got stuff there, and click OK. Then I got to lower my roof. So I'm going to open the roof and I'm going to lower it. I'm going to lock the pitch and lower it by 8 feet. There, I've just created a story and a half. All right. So now when I draw walls on the second floor and click on the right plan here, I want to create a dormer there on my second floor. So when I draw some walls here, they will not show up because Chief is cutting those walls off with the roof. Okay, see, that's what a roof will do. All right, to create, these aren't attic walls. These are attic walls over here. So I have to be careful that they're not marked as attic walls or I won't get room definition like this. And this happens a lot. See, I'm not getting room definition because those walls by default are marked as attic walls, which will be no room definition. So I could turn those off. That's fine. Once you have the walls, you make them into whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Yes, do that. And I still don't have room definition, which must mean these are attic walls as well. Okay, so I had all those attic walls there. So now I have room definition. Room definition is extremely important to make all of this work. All right, now I want a roof over that. So let's go draw a roof plane and get my roof plane here. We'll draw that coming up. And there's my roof plane sitting there. I'm going to snap that to the center of this. And I'm not going to bother creating that right now. I'm going to copy that, create the other side by reflected copy. And there's my dormer, but I don't see the walls. So now what you would do with it in this situation is you would click on the walls and you tell Chief to cut the bottom of the walls off. So under the roof tab for walls, under the roof tab for walls, you have these options. All right. Most of the time, I mean, these two are controlled by the button on the toolbar, or you could go here. Dutch gables work great. High shed knee wall extend slope downward has very limited uses. You'll almost never use those, but this one you will use in the situation that we're talking about. So roof cuts wall at bottom, click OK, and now you'll have those coming up. This won't work if there's not a roof drawn here. The walls have to have a roof to extend up to for that to work. Okay, Chris, I hope that helps and answers that question.
I'll show my screen right now.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got this is a project I was just working on for someone else.
Perfect.
Just to clean this exact condition up. So kind of the same thing. I've got attic walls and one of them is set to cut wall at bottom.
Yep. And the other one is not.
Yeah.
And Chief will automatically form the roof that hole is in around the walls so it accommodates those walls. So that roof plane where that door is under the wall. The roof plane that's going all the way to the floor is on the outside of the wall. So once you play with that a little bit, it'll make sense.
And a lot of times you can even get this to auto draw if you set these walls to be knee walls.
Yeah. Yeah. You need the knee wall setting. Yeah. I always mark those little empty rooms behind those as attics. That always helps a lot too.
Oh, and there you go. Good trick.
Room name attic will do wonders for those little spaces like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back here and let me get out of this. Chris, I hope that was what you're looking for. Let me know if it's not.
Yep. He says that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good job.
Yep. Cool.
All right.
Spin the wheel.
We're in auto roof return.
You got 1 minute to spin the wheel.
I did already. We had auto roof returns on there.
Oh, that's right.
So let me do that real quick. Auto roof returns are pretty simple. So when you have a plan and you have a roof over it, and you want to, there I am. And you want to have returns here. That's a function of the walls. It doesn't matter at what point you're in the roof. You could be done with the roofs. It doesn't have to be automatically turned on, but at any time you can click on a wall, and under the roof option for that wall, you will have an auto roof return function. This works really well in Chief Architect. They've done a great job with this little tool right here. And what you do is you put in here, I'm going to create some returns. I'm going to make them 42 inches long. I want the fascia of my return to extend out 3 inches beyond the fascia of this gable. So I'm going to put a 3 in here. You could leave it 0 if you want to. I'm going to make them a hip return. If I wanted full, that would go all the way across. It's going to be sloping, include shadow board. So the pitch of this is going to be whatever the pitch is defined for that wall. I wonder, can I change that? Let me try that here real quick. So there's your returns that I've just created. See how it sticks out 3 inches past, and it's a little hip return. Those work. Chief did a great job putting this tool in. This works really well. Let me try something I've never tried before. I don't think this will change it. So if I change that to a 4 in the wall, no. The pitch of the roof comes from the pitch that this return is joining into.
Right.
So you can't change that. If you need a different picture, you'll have to draw them on manually.
Yeah,
so
and you can't select them and you can't change them at all. It's just what you get.
You can change them in the wall dialog only.
In the dialogue, yes, but you can't click on them and change them at all.
Nope, they're locked in place. Yep, exactly. But for what it does a great job. And many times it might do just what you need it to do.
And then you
I'm
can
really
set that.
creating I'm really getting a masterpiece here, man. Look
You
at this
are.
thing.
You
Nice
are.
job.
Look at I even
Yeah.
got some plants outside. All right, one more spin.
You can
and
make
then
that. You can make that return. No, wait.
Yeah.
You can make that return so it goes all the way across too.
Yeah, you can. You can open.
And then Chris has another question.
Okay.
I don't have a great solution for that one.
Is there a way that wall Renee is showing to show siding on the exterior above the roof and just framing below the roof?
Yes, there is.
Let's do what now? Is there a way?
Yes, there is.
You have a way to do that, John?
I do.
Showing.
So
Show.
I assume he's talking about the wall that's touching the floor.
Oh yeah, and just
So-
framing below the roof.
You
Yeah,
just have
you
to have
want
a different wall type for your wall below the roof.
You don't want
when the
siding
roof
all the way
abuts
up.
the wall.
You don't want
You want-
siding all the way up.
So click on the other roof, on the other wall.
I just
Renee.
drew a partition, no room definition, no locate wall.
I'm not sure
No.
that's what he's talking about. I
No,
think he's talking
cancel
about the
that.
other.
Cancel that menu. So I think what he's talking about is the other wall.
Right, the
The-
other wall that you have there, where the roof's
The
butting
full-
into
the
it,
full height wall.
the full height wall.
Not that
The-
one.
That one would work too. That one would work.
That one. So
That one.
open the dialog for that and go to the roof tab. And under the roof tab at the bottom, you got the save. Let's see, lower wall type of split by budding roof.
Yeah, which I got to go set a wall
Right.
type that's framing only.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Or sheetrock on one side and frame, no framing on the other side. So you'd have to create a wall type
showing
like
to show
that.
siding on the exterior above the roof.
That
and
won't
just framing
change
below the
until
roof.
you say okay, and then come back into it and show it again. I think it'll show it what it
Yeah.
would be now. Did you change?
No,
it
he's
to
talking about the one I have here. He's talking about this one.
Then you would have to have that so the roof is butting into it. You wouldn't cut it off.
Well,
pulling
right.
along.
No, the condition he's talking about is framing below at the angle of the roof line, which there's no way to do that with one wall. You have to have two walls. So you have to have one set to be a partition wall and then frame that wall, which is what I'm showing here.
Why would you have framing below it?
Because it's just a cripple.
A wall with an angled bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. The
You could
one,
put a
the
ceiling-
one that's cut off by the roof line, which is what I'm showing, right? So I can go
I
in
guess
here.
I'm not seeing the application. I don't
Yeah.
understand why.
Well,
It's just
Well-
it's a framed cripple wall is basically all he's doing.
So what you could do is just draw a full wall, frame it, and then change the wall to whatever you want. The framing won't change unless you reframe that wall. Once framing is in place, you can change a wall any way you want to, but the framing won't change until you reframe that wall. So that's another option.
If they're
The area of the
I'd almost just show
roof
balusters
credit.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a tricky condition.
Yeah.
in the area,
I don't know what happened to my room. My
I'm not getting
walls got cut off, so it lost the room definition.
Yep, you did. I think when you pulled
There.
that back, something happened.
Oh,
All
you
right.
did it.
All right, Chris, we're going to spin the wheel one more time.
Yeah.
You can reach out to one of us with that question,
yeah.
and we'd be happy to help you with an answer. So, okay.
Go ahead and show.
There we go. Here we go. Last spin of the day. Better be a good one. A simple one. Oh, I like that one. That's a nice simple one. We can cover that in just a minute. All right. So that is the disconnect align tool. All right. So if you ever had a CAD box that you've been drawing and you modified some things, so you want to get rid of a line in that CAD box, or you want to do something different. This is good for doing molding polylines and things like that too. This tool right here allows you to disconnect the selected edge of a line, of a box, of a polyline shape. So whatever edge you have selected, when you click that, I can now pull that line off and now it's not hooked up anymore. That's what that tool does. It's a really handy tool when you're in situations where, maybe you're trying to draw a line at an angle here, but you didn't really mean to hook it up. but it did anyway. So now you could undo that and get rid of that line independent of the other CAD lines. So that happens a lot.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a way to, let's say this line, poly line that you have going where you took that line off of there, make that so it's a whole bunch of separate lines. Like, you know how when you get a DWG file from an AutoCAD
Yeah.
or
And
whatever,
they're all separate lines. Yeah.
they're all separate lines. Is there a way to select all those lines and join them all at once?
Not that I know of.
Well, there is. Well, no, there isn't.
All
That's not gonna work.
I do when I get those kind of files is I go click on each corner and it puts them together.
And join it. Right.
Yeah,
So we need a tool that will join those back together really fast.
That would be nice because a lot of
Sure.
AutoCAD lines and ARC will come as a bunch of little lines hooked together.
Right.
Real pain in the patoot. I tell you, when I get those kind of DWGs, I go, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
you don't
almost-
want to,
And it's
you don't wanna-
easier to trace over it and put chief lines in than it is to try to convert those, is what
Yeah.
I've found.
or just
So,
put a single line and build an arc to follow it.
exactly.
Um,
Yep. But
I've
you know,
never-
put those CAD files on a separate layer, lock that layer, and then trace over it, and that works pretty well.
Yeah, I've never tried this before, but there is the option when you're importing it to have it make a poly line for all the lines that share a shared point. So
Yeah.
maybe that'd be something to look at
Yeah,
trying.
I don't know. I've always
Wait, what are you
done-
trying to do?
You know how when you bring in a DWG, you get all these CAD layers that are all together, right?
Yeah.
I always use the option that I don't want to create a polyline with lines that are shared points because I don't want to have a mess, you know. But if I check that box, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe
So
it
you're
would work.
talking about.
I always check it, yeah.
I always check.
You always
both of
check it?
those.
Okay,
I
and then you
always
don't
do.
have that issue where you have a bunch of separate lines.
No.
Yeah,
it'll
but
still-
you can usually use the extend tool when you select a couple of different line segments.
Right. That's what we're talking about. If you don't check that polyline box, you have to go do that with every line that you
Yeah,
do want
what a
to
pain.
create a
Right.
polyline with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did I just import? I don't even know.
Guys, I did show that condition for Chris.
Oh, here it is.
If we want to show it.
Oh, you go ahead, show it. As long as you got it handy.
There you go. So that's just a wall set to no locate. I designated as a railing. I extended the railing up, and then it auto cuts to that, and then build framing, and the wall type is just framing only in the main layer.
Okay. If that's what he's looking
Well,
for, yeah. So that's
That would do the same thing, wouldn't it? If you used a single wall, it might not get the top plate on it, but you would get.
Yeah,
the,
I don't think you have any option to do that as a single wall and have it extend past and have the lower wall be framed
yeah.
at an angle. I think this is the only way you can do it. I think.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, back to it, Dan. Sorry.
That's all right. I think we're about done here. So, all right, everybody. Thanks
Well,
for participating.
Mike made it safe and sound.
Good so far, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys, thanks for being here. And again, if you're interested in the getting some live face-to-face time with us, be sure to check this out. ChiefExpertsAcademy.com /waitlist, and we'll be sure to let you know as soon as I have I'm done with the information on this. This is going to be cool. I'm really excited about this event, and the place that we're going to be at is phenomenal. So, all right, you guys, everybody, thank you for being here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. We're going to go off of the first and third Mondays or Friday schedule a little bit. The calendar is such that I'm going to be out of town the first week of let's see, where are we here? We're in, let me just turn these off. Yeah, so we're going to be on the 30th, 7th. I'm going to be out of town in Luxembourg. So I don't think I want to stream from Luxembourg. And then we'll pick it up again on the 14th, probably. So we'll go off this month. We'll be off a little bit, but just mark your calendars. I'll let you know. You guys take care. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.